2 hours, 0 minutes. Jedi swerves the Humvee onto a new compass bearing and heads away from the Canadian container. Resting on top of his thigh is his open notebook. Every so often, he glances down at the map, then back up at the compass. Next to him, Lloyd looks over and says, "Oil." He shakes his head. "I don't know, kid. I think you've been reading way too many comic books." "Have some faith, dude." Jedi watches Matt and Lola zoom past on their bikes.
"God made me an atheist. Faith don't work for me."
"Then you're gonna have to trust me."
"I trust nobody."
"Then you're just going to have to do one thing for me, Lloyd."
"Oh yeah? What's that?"
"Believe. Just believe, okay?" Jedi shouts up to Cutter and Jim in the gun turret. "Hey, you guys up there?"
"Yeah?"
Cutter yells down. "Do you believe?"
"What are you talking about?"
"In me," Jedi yells.
You okay, kid?"
Cutter yells. "I'm asking if you believe in me."
"Yeah, sure. You're a value bet."
Jedi smiles over at Lloyd. "You see, Lloyd? That's all you need sometimes. Someone saying something good."
"Right,"
Lloyd says. "You know what, Lloyd?"
"No, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna tell me."
"You're my passenger, and I'm your driver, so you'd better start believing too."
Just drive the truck, kid. Just drive the fucking truck."
Alone with books in the back of the Humvee, Sophia watches him strip down his M16. He methodically cleans the various components. As he works, he senses her watching him. He doesn't look up, but concentrates fully on the weapon. "Hey, Books," Sophia says.
"Yeah?"
"What Lola said, back there."
"What about it?"
"The feelings thing."
"Uh-huh."
"Bullshit, right?" Books clicks the M16's bolt carrier back into the gun's main body assembly.
"What do you think?"
I think you make me feel like everything's going to be okay," Sophia says. Finished, Books puts the gun down. He shuffles forward on the bench seat and moves closer to Sophia. He leans toward her.
"I like to surf. You ever surfed?"
Sophia shakes her head. Books continues.
"I've got this place. It's overseas, right by the ocean. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to live by the sea. So I got me a small beach house. It's not much, and it needs a ton of work, but it's all mine. There's no phone, no TV, no people. Just a whole load of beach, blue water, and mountains, as far as you can see. I think it's as close to paradise as I've ever found."
Books pauses as he thinks about his special place. Sophia interrupts his train of thought. "I've always loved the ocean, too. How'd you find it?" He refocuses.
"You don't find places like this place. They
find you," Sophia completes his sentence. Books smiles.
"Yeah, that's kind of how it happens."
"So, how?"
"Oh, I'm on vacation, and I'm tramping in this wilderness. Then I hear these waves crashing on a beach on the other side of the thick bush. I keep walking, and there's a gap, and I walk out onto this deserted beach, and there, right in front of me, are these perfect breakers rolling in, one after the other, just all day long."
Books shakes his head in awe.
"I've surfed all over the planet, and then I stumble across perfection. Some days, I don't even go out on the water, but just sit on that beach and watch those big blues roll in. It kind of feels soothing and peaceful. Takes me to another place."
Books smiles.
"Weird, right?"
"It sounds amazing."
"It is. When I'm in the water, everything seems to be okay, and I don't feel like it's too bad a world out there."
"Take me there one day."
"Only if you promise me one thing."
"I bring the Pinot?" He laughs.
"Right. But seriously, when we get out of here, you'll..."
From above, Jim screams out,
"Contact! 2,000 yards, 90 degrees!"
Books grabs the M16 and leaps up. Sophia's startled. "Books!" He kicks open the Humvee's rear door. "Books!" Sophia yells. Books stops and looks back at her. "Your turn to promise. Take me there one day." He nods. "Say it."
"I promise."
Books leaps out of the rear door and climbs up the truck's ladder and joins Jim and Cutter in the gun turret.
"What you got?"
Jim points out over the salt pan toward the incoming white convoy.
"Australians."
Cutter looks through his binoculars. "What's happening up there?" Jedi shouts up.
We've got company, coming in fast.
Books pushes Cutter aside and takes control of the M2 machine gun. He swings the barrel around and points it toward Matt and Lola's bikes, then pulls the trigger. 12mm rounds rip up into the ground in front of Matt, and the salt pan erupts all around him.
What the fuck?
Alerted, he turns and looks back and sees Books signaling toward the Australians' imminent attack.
Shit! Lola!
Matt shouts. Lola sees it now too. She yanks on the KTM's brakes. Her bike snakes to a juddering halt. She drops it to the ground. Matt skids his bike up next to hers. She jumps on the back of it.
"The Humvee, quick!"
Lola says. Matt spins the bike around and rockets them back to the Americans. Books shouts down to Jedi, "Step on it!" Jedi stamps on the truck's throttle and the Humvee jumps forward. Matt's bike draws up alongside. Books throws down an M16 to Lola, who catches it one-handed. With her free hand, Lola strikes Matt on his shoulder and points out over the salt pan. "Go wide, we attack!" Matt roars the KTM out and away from the Humvee. The Australians open fire. Rounds slam into the American truck. Jim, Cutter, and Books duck behind the cover of the gun turret's armor-plated housing. Bullets bounce and clatter all around. Books grabs an Uzi, shouts at Jim,
"The M2, cover me!" "Pleasure's all mine."
Jim aims the powerful machine gun at the upcoming Australians and fires short bursts. Books leaps from the speeding Humvee, hits the ground and rolls, recovers, then runs for his life toward Lola's discarded bike. Jim keeps blasting. He screams at Cutter,
"Feed it! This thing's getting hungry!"
Click, click, the M2 runs out of ammunition. Cutter smashes open an ammunition box and slams another belt of 12mm rounds into the gun. Books heaves Lola's bike up. Bullets fly and zip all around him. He kickstarts the KTM, powers the bike forward, and catches up with the American Humvee. He shouts at Jedi,
"Attack them head on, understand?"
Jedi, wide-eyed, nods at Books.
"We'll attack from the side,"
Books yells. Jedi yanks on the steering wheel and forces the truck into a tight turn towards the Australians. They are now only 1,000 yards away.
"You'd better believe in me now, Lloyd,"
Jedi yells.
I'm fucking believing!"
Lloyd cocks his M16. Jedi completes the Humvee's turn. "Good, 'cause here we go, Lloyd. Here we go. So hold on to everything you got."
"Fuck!"
Lloyd screams. Sophia steps out of the Humvee's rear door and hauls herself up the outside ladder. She spots Books. He looks over at her. "Promised," she mouths to him. Books nods, then rockets the bike away.